Soul Scripts presents Conversations with Your Higher Self. I'm Alleson Gregary. Today's guest is Shelley Boyers. Shelley is a self-taught mixed media artist living in the Shenandoah Valley. Her soul's mission is to spread love and invoke healing for all the people on the planet. In July of 2019, she learned her mission would be accomplished through creating art. She paints the visions she receives, and the flow of spirit is created into whatever arises out of her images. The subtle energetic quality of her art will move you into a deep space of love, and look at that love behind you. That is so beautiful, Shelley. Tell us a little bit about your creations and how you were inspired.
You know, divine timing.
Always.
So my husband and I really enjoy listening to music. Our favorite date night is to sit in the office and listen to music. And I guess we had been cleaning out the basement. And I ran across a tub of paint and an easel that he had bought me as a gift 16 years earlier.
Wow.
It was a Bob Ross paint set.
I love it.
Trees.
For anyone old enough to remember Bob Ross.
You're old enough. My 11-year-old can recite.
Oh, awesome.
The episodes. So at any rate, I'm sitting there looking at it. I mean, it's been in the basement all those years, and I had dabbled in art, and I've always been creative. I had dabbled all those years ago, doing my own version of Happy Little Trees and Mountains, and I was so frustrated with my paintings not turning out the way that I wanted them to, that the easel and the paints got ushered down to the basement. Bah humbug, I'm done.
Aww.
And so at any rate, we were listening to music, and for whatever reason, I decided to go down and grab the easel and grab the paints. And I just started painting. And I noticed as I was in tune with the music, the flow of the art shifted as well. And, you know, within a couple of hours, I had a piece created, and I looked at him and I was like, that's good.
Wow, that's awesome.
And honestly, it has been like a explosion of suppressed energy. And I mean, it's like I can't stop. I'm constantly creating.
That's awesome. That is so
Who knew?
awesome. So tell us about how you started, and when you first started connecting with your higher self. How did that come about for you?
As in, like, way back in the very beginning?
Well, yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, what really sticks out at that one pivotal moment where you're like, there's something more here. There's something guiding me.
Yeah. So, I mean, really, I guess it goes back to the beginning in 1997. The short version is, at that time, I was right before my 21st birthday, just a couple of weeks before my 21st birthday, I had gone on an unexpected trip to Arizona, and I had made up my mind that I was suicidal, not necessarily fully consciously aware of it, but it was a daily fantasy. And I had made up my mind that if this job didn't work, I was out of here. I was done. Had enough. And while I was there, I had my awakening experience in Sedona, and again, unexpected. And that sort of was that moment that kind of opened up my connection with higher self. Now that I'm thinking about it, I was not spiritual, but by that point, um, I had been told my lady I lovingly refer to as my mother. She's my adopted mom. She's actually my ex mother-in-law. Has been an astrologer for the last 40 some years, and I've known her since I was 18. And when I first met her, she pulls up my chart and she looks at it and she looks at me and she says, "Oh, you're clairvoyant." And I was like, I don't even know what that is. What is that? So it's kind of took me a while to acknowledge and accept the divine connection that was there. And so after that awakening experience, I came back. At the time I lived in Richmond, came back to Richmond, and I just started gobbling everything I could get my hands on. Like I had to know about all the things we can't see with our eyes. I couldn't live if I didn't have that knowledge. And so I started having mystical experiences happen on a pretty daily basis. Wow. And this went on for a few years. And I ended up finding myself angry because I was this young kid walking around with all this esoteric knowledge, but my life was not reflecting the truths that I knew, and I was angry about it. And so I ended up really focusing on the mundane, like, let's have a job that pays bills. Let's, raise my daughter, and do life. So I kind of pulled myself out of the etheric and got grounded. And fast forward until, I guess, must have been January of 18. I had another awakening, a rebirthing. I don't know what label you'd put on
Got
it.
shook. Wake up now.
Time
no
to
more
wake
sleeping.
up. Yes. I had gone through, I had lots of success. I owned my husband and I owned a catering business for 10 years. And we had experienced a lot of success. And the short of the long is that we ended up having to close our business. It felt unexpected in the moment. And we nearly lost everything that we owned. We came a week away from our house being foreclosed. And it was a really scary time. And through that process of, if you're familiar with tarot, it was kind of like the Tower card in the tarot deck, where, the lightning bolt comes and everything in your reality comes crumbling down around you, for the opportunity to recreate and rebuild. So during and through that process, I started receiving visions again, really getting connected with my higher self, guides, and over and over and over and over again, I just keep hearing, it's time to do your work. Wow. You've been hiding out for a really long time, and it's time to share.
Wow. So tell us a little bit about what the higher self is to you, and try to define it for folks who maybe are not there yet.
Okay. For me, higher self is the whisper that sits behind the noise of the mind. Ooh, getting covered in shit.
So beautiful. Wow. Yeah. Yeah.
It's the whisper. It's my whole body is covered in chills.
Truth bumps, baby.
So that's what it is. And I guess for me, that's what it is. And it's a matter of attuning your awareness to be able to hear. Also, for me, I receive visions regularly. And so that will come to me either since 2018. It comes in dreams, but also just in just randomly. I can be driving to work. There it is. Okay. And those visions come like a dream. So that's what it looks like. It'll look like a dream.
So you're a physical, like you see pictures in your brain, because like for me, it's a knowing. It's just a deep-seated knowing. But in order to describe it, I say, well, I see or I'm told. But so you see.
So I see. Sometimes I also feel. And absolutely, there are many occasions where it's a knowing. It's just, I call it like a download. I don't really know any other way to describe it. Last April, my husband is a chef, and he had just fixed us this amazing breakfast. Good old Southern grits with all the butter and salt. Oh, so good. Thick cut bacon, eggs.
Okay, I'm coming over.
It was so good. And then after I ate it, I felt so heavy, like uncomfortably heavy. And I sat on the sofa, and while I was sitting there in this uncomfortable space, I got this huge download about food, and why they always say to eat your fruit and vegetables from an energetic vibrational perspective. It was kind of like, whoa. So to me, that would be more like a knowing, not necessarily a vision. So it kind of comes in different ways.
Interesting. So what are some of the things that you've been getting as of late? Like, I assume, tell me the process, of your painting, because you said you get in the flow with that. That must be something that you're bringing in through your higher self too. And what other kinds of things are you getting as of late?
Quite a lot. So I think that kind of getting
take your time.
I think that as we individually acknowledge and bring our awareness to our own interpersonal gradu, and we feel it and start processing that energy and transmuting that energy. I am you and you are me, and we are one. That processing, not only is it healing and transmuting for myself, but it creates that ripple effect throughout the planet. And so I sense that a lot of the things that I may be working through are also things that others are working through, and perhaps in some way, as collective beings, we are individually processing and working through whatever those things are. that is what affects the massive shift in consciousness that our planet is obviously going through.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, in anymore, there's not a single being on this planet that's not going through something and having the awareness of it, right? Like, I guess human history is always, people have always been going through stuff. I think perhaps part of the difference is it was just nature just to sweep those things under the carpet and not deal with and push away and suppress, where I think more people are becoming aware and allowing themselves to process energy.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Wow. I felt the energy coming off of you in that one. Getting a little verklempt here. Yeah, it's a very powerful time. And how is that transmuting into your artwork? All of this that's going on.
Well, it happens in a combination of ways. So a big piece that I just finished is called Embodied Abundance. And I was processing my relationship to abundance. And I'm going to rephrase that. I was processing trauma, abundance trauma that I have dealt with in my life. And it was sourced in my awareness in this lifetime. It was sourced from my mother as well as from my father. They had money, but growing up, it was just this constant, well, we don't have money for that, or I don't have money for this. So it was like this constant thing being spoken. And, but yet they had money. I mean, they were fine. In turn, I grew up and I became aware that right out of my mouth, it's like you're not even thinking about it. It just comes out of your mouth.
Yeah.
And coupled with, I am right now in what I call the birth canal of my art business.
Wow.
I'm in it. I'm in the canal where it's not comfortable. I'm still working full time. The full-time job I support my family on the income that I make, but I'm not happy.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of people are in that space right now.
And so anyway, this piece was part of me processing, because what I realized is that, and I'm sure lots of other people have realized this, abundance is the natural state of not the planet, not just Gaia, it's the natural state of the cosmos, of the universe. You can't help but look and see abundance everywhere. So why can't I have it?
Yeah.
Why can't I have it? Well, I can. Ooh, getting chills again. I can. And so can everybody else. And what I got for myself was, it is a matter of abundance as energy. It's a flow. It's the natural state of being of the of the universe. And if there's a trauma, it's either in the receiving of that energy or in the letting go of that energy to create that circuit. And so for me, what I realized is, you know what? I'm good at attracting abundance. I have experienced abundant success in my life. So it's not a matter of I can't receive it. But what I realized is, when I'm constantly saying, well, we don't have money for this, we don't have money for that, no, we can't spend the money on this, I'm creating a dam. I'm blocking the energy.
Yeah.
And letting go. So I ended up as I was going through and processing and working through this issue for myself, of all places, I was in the bathroom at work.
Well, kind of like the shower, it's
You know,
alone time, right?
yeah. And I saw the painting in my mind's eye, and I sat there going, I don't know if I can make that. And what I got was to create that energy as the beingness of abundance, and embody it as the omniverse that we all are. Can you see it?
Is that the one? Oh, wow.
It's kind of hard to see with the light, but
no, that's wild. Yeah, I could just sit with that for a while and just soak it all in. Yeah. There is definitely some code you put in that. And you brought it in. It's very beautiful. So you kind of touched on something that's interesting, and I'd like to see how that might circle around to the higher self is family trauma. You said your parents had abundance, but yet there was some trauma there about, not, I don't have enough. I don't have, we can't buy this right now.
right.
How did you work through that with your higher self? How did you release that? Was it all through this painting, or are there other things going on to help you release that trauma?
Yeah. So the painting for me is a physical way to process. Message that I've been getting very clearly since January on multiple topics. Any kind of pain. It doesn't matter what the trauma is or what the pain is. I had noticed that my energy was absolutely sideways about, and that I was in a state of feeling hopeless about the planet and what I was seeing going on in the planet. Coupled with my own personal attachment to what was going on the planet. And I just was in this state of devastation, and how are we going to get through this? And I went into meditation about it and was given a sword of love. And I took this sword and I just wrapped it around me, and it cut through it. It cut through that energy. I mean, it was like an amazing tool. And I've used it for other things since, and I have guided a couple of people in finding their own sort of love, because it's such a powerful tool to be able to use when you're dealing with negative energy. I mean, that's what we have, all kinds of energy. So in answering your question, one of the things that has been very helpful for me in transmuting and processing negative energies has been to be in the space of allowing it to be there. It's not a matter of I want to get rid of the negative energy. I want to push the negative energy away, but more of an embracing and wrapping it in love And it seems as if when we allow for whatever arises to just be present and then wrap it in love, that is the key for it releasing back. And with the sword of love, it was a matter of wrapping the energy with that sword and then literally watching the energy fade back into the cosmos.
I love that, to embrace. I mean, because the dark and light, the yin and yang, the good and bad they're all going to exist together. They have to. So the idea of embracing it is so beautiful. So beautiful. So tell us a little bit about, I like some of these messages that you're getting these right now during this time. And I think it's really helpful for people to hear. What other things are coming to you in your meditations or in your practice that you feel might benefit the collective?
So, okay, I'm getting two things. The first is to, we have to learn how to let go of attachments. All attachments to our beliefs, attachments to our things, like truly be in a space of surrender and letting go of attachments, because it brings us to the space of neutral. I don't watch scary movies.
Yeah.
I don't listen to like yucky music. I do that on purpose. I don't want to have that energy in my space. And just, like we were just saying a minute ago, it is the nature of physical reality to have that polarity. That is a universal law. How do we know hot if we don't know cold? How do we know up if we don't know down? We have to have it. And I noticed that I've always had a tendency to run away from negative thoughts and negative energy and negative. I don't want to be angry. I'm not angry.
So how do you deal with it? What do you do?
You got to just let it be. Allow. You just got to allow it to be. That doesn't mean you got to act out. It doesn't mean that you've got to project, but it's more a matter of just acknowledging, yeah, this was so. And then find ourselves back in the space of neutral. So in my desire to like run away from negative energy or whatever, the case may be, and then like focusing all my energy on light and love and, I'm going to listen to this or, this meditation music or whatever the case may be. One of the messages that I got is that we've got to find a way to come back into the middle, in the space of neutral, in the space of allowing. It doesn't mean that we can't focus energy in the light or that we can't focus energy in the dark or negative. But really just find ourselves more in a neutral space of letting go of attachment. That was kind of an eye-opening download vision that I received. It came to me in a dream. The other thing that I'm really feeling called to for humanity, and this may not be everybody's calling, but I feel like it's a calling for a lot of folks, and I feel like it's really important. It's almost contradictory to what I just said. But that is it. In the world that we're living in right now, it can feel like we are hopeless, not able to, we're just a little person that has a tiny voice and not able to affect positive change. And when if somebody looks at the news and they see all the things that are going on, and there's so many things outside of our bodies that is going on that can be hard. Like I said, it can feel not hopeless, but powerless. That's more accurate of a word. Powerless to do anything. Like, who am I? I ain't nobody. Well, one of the things that I got was that what we can do, and it makes a much bigger impact than what we could consciously realize, is to truly be the center. Ooh, getting chills. Be the center, hold and anchor light. And how do we do that? We do it through creating our joy from within. And when we are creating joy from within by doing things that make us feel good and feel happy, for me, it's my art, that in doing that, and then in turn sharing that joy with others, that creates that ripple effect throughout the cosmos, throughout the planet, throughout the cosmos. It's received by all.
It vibrates out.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Yes. And this right here with the two of us, where two of them are gathered, also brings things up. Wow, that's beautiful, Shelley. Thank you for that. So tell us a little bit more about your work, where people can find you. What kinds of things do you do aside from painting? Do you offer any online channeling or tarot readings or anything like that?
I feel like I've been like this little, just hiding.
Not anymore. You're out there, girl.
So what I can say is this. The painting obviously is there, and people can find me on my website, which is shelleyboyersart.com with an EY.
Below too.
Of course, I'm on Facebook as well, Shelley Boyers Art. So those are the ways to get in contact with me. I can't believe I'm going to say this out loud. I have been reading tarot since I was 18. I've gotten to a point where I don't really need the cards. I don't know, maybe it's channeling that I do. I have a 9-to-5 job and I'm paid to do XYZ, but people come into my office and sit a spell, and it's through conversation that they are able to process stuff that they're working through. And through those conversations, I don't really know. I don't know what it is that I'm necessarily doing. I guess I'm channeling it. The way that it feels is like I'm having a conversation, and then it's like, since we've been talking, this has happened several times. I'll be in the middle of talking and it just comes. And what I have found is that it does help people. I mean, people that know me will come to me for that. So that's a service that's available. I don't have a label for it necessarily.
Beautiful. You're doing a lot in your 3D job. I mean, I think this is a thing people need to realize. You might feel stuck, but you have a purpose there that's helping the greater good of everything too. Because by what you just said, that's powerful, what you're doing for people in your office place. And I apologize for interrupting. So please.
No, you're fine. And I appreciate that. In fact, thank you for the confirmation. I often feel, I mean, really, it's at that point where it's hard to get up in the morning to go. and that is a message that I've gotten, is that I may feel like I don't do much at work, but I'm doing much more than what I realize. So thank you for the confirmation of that. So I think I'm also into herbs, plant medicine. It's something that I do that helps ground me. The ethers are it's so much more comfortable up there.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
So I think, I mentioned I'm in this feeling like I'm in the birth canal of whatever is next. And I think that as I continue through these contractions and the uncomfortableness, however it is that I am to be of service to others is forming and taking shape. And through some time experience, I will be able to communicate more clear on, what it is that I offer to humanity.
Enjoy that journey, because personally, I was very impatient with that part of the birthing process. And I was just like, what's going to happen? When's going to happen? What's going on here? Hurry up, hurry up, hurry up.
Yeah.
But if you can pause in it and drink it in and enjoy it and see the beauty in all the unfoldment, it's so beautiful.
Thank you.
And I'm excited for you. I'm so excited for you.
Thank you.
So, not to put any pressure on you, but are your tarot cards handy?
Oh, let's see here. I've got my soul. Yeah, they are. Hold on.
So I'm thinking she should pull a couple cards for the collective right now, because we are in a very, very a time of birthing. I mean, Shelley's already birthing. We're all birthing something. So let's see what comes out of this.
So I have a lot of different decks.
I'm an oracle card junkie. I have like probably 30 decks. Don't tell my husband.
I'm not alone. Is that what you're telling me?
You are not alone.
Oh gosh.
We could start a support group.
Yes. I don't know. That might be dangerous. Oh, I haven't seen that deck before.
Yep, you are correct.
Can I borrow that deck for a minute? Where'd you get it?
Now, I also find that this working with cards, I'm not a tarot person at all. I'm just oracle decks, because to me, I like to keep it simple, stupid. It's kind of my personal motto. Tarot requires a lot of knowledge and all of that, but I do find it's definitely working through the higher self. As long as you're making that clear connection to source, putting that, kind of like crystalline light around what you're doing.
Right. Yeah. I started off actually with my first deck was a rune deck, which I never really learned. And then I had a traditional Rider Waite deck that I used for many years. And then I got an Osho Zen deck that I love. And like I said, anymore, I will look at my cards, but a lot of times it's more of I'm not necessarily reading the cards. It's more of like a snapshot.
Right.
And so I brought out my one deck, but I'm feeling to pull a card from my other deck, my Soulful Woman deck, more of an oracle deck that I just love.
It's perfect for the divine feminine that's rising right now.
I just had the longest in-depth conversation with my daughter, who is 26, about women. And wow, we women are in such an amazing place right now in this time of history. It's amazing that we get to be alive. It's amazing that we get to have our voice. We've never had it, or it's been eons.
Right.
And the other thing that I think has been very beautiful that I'm starting to witness are men are starting to tap into their divine feminine and express it.
Yes.
It's amazing to see that unfolding and to be witness of it.
It is. It is.
Okay.
Make this shift up.
This happened the other day too. Okay.
What does it say?
Listening to my body.
Oh, is that the one you pulled for me yesterday? Wow. Okay. People, time to listen to your body. This is very important because it keeps coming up.
Yes. My health is my life, the temple of my experience, and the greatest of my blessings.
Yeah, well, that dovetails into what you're saying about that heavy meal too. I mean, everybody's going through major shifts in their eating and everything. I'm finding some days I hardly eat anything, and other days I'm like appalled at what I just ate.
Yes.
I don't know what's going on, but you know, I try to just let my body run the show. What do you need? What do you want? What feels good today?
And I think it also is not it's absolutely what we're putting in our body. Okay. So I'm just getting to offer the reminder, as much as possible, as best as it can be afforded. It really does make a difference, the quality of the food that we're putting into our body. If you can grow it, great, because you get to be in control of mending the soil. I had gotten a vision 20 years ago, a lot of which is unfolding right now. Ironically, all my family members that are down to earth and, oh, she's just full of that woo-woo starry stuff, have come back to me saying, do you remember what you said 20 years ago? Yeah, I do. And one aspect of that vision was famine, that the people of the planet would be starving. And the reality is many on the planet are starving, and it's not starving from a lack of food.
Nutrients.
It's the nutrients. Yep. Yeah. So that's all I'm going to say about that. If we can try to, to do our best,
right,
to at a minimum just include some nutrient dense food. I mean, we could still eat our ho-hos and Little Debbie cakes and greasy cheeseburgers and French fries, but try to add some nutrients into the mix is helpful.
Well, the non-antibiotic hormone-free hamburger instead,
Right. The other thing I'm getting to from this card, listening to my body, is okay. just the reminder that the body is the temple. And so in listening to the body, when it says it's tired, sleep. When it feels anxious energy, put your feet on the ground, bare feet on the ground. Spend time to meditate because it helps to balance that energy. And I'm sharing this, with you and all the listeners, but I need to hear it too.
Right. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. We all do. It's good information.
Yeah.
You want to pull one more?
Yeah, I do. I was sitting here going, we should probably do one more.
We're on the same wavelength, girlfriend.
Oh gosh, I love it. All right. What else do we to be helpful? Okay, can you see it?
Yeah. What does it say I didn't get on my glasses.
Savoring the positive. I allow myself the spaciousness of savoring the delicious gifts in my life. Wow.
That's a profound one because,
yeah,
the butterfly flying by my window right now is a delicious gift.
Yes.
Savor it. No matter what it is.
What I'm getting is, I think it's fair to say, I'm making an assumption here. I can't say all, but I'm going to say many people are going through really hard times in some form or fashion, right? Lots of change, lots of shifting. And that can feel uneasy. We're creatures of habit. I am. Changes. I've got to really work through allowing. And so what I'm getting about this savoring the positive really is take time to smell the roses, to appreciate the butterfly, to appreciate the moment with a new friend.
Yes.
We are gifts to one another. And it's through these gifts with one another that we collectively hold hands and walk through. We walk through this. What I'm seeing is it's like a curtain, like a foggy curtain, and we walk through that together.
Yeah, I feel that. It's beautiful. So what do you think, Shelley? Anything else you'd like to share with everybody out there before we wrap up?
The only thing that just really comes up is it's not always easy to do. But in every day, try our best to source joy from within. Because it's not coming from outside. It comes from within through the things that we do that makes us feel good. And then in turn, share that in service with others, I think is probably the biggest thing.
You dropped some great truth on us today.
Dropping it.
I appreciate it. It was so beautiful to connect with you. Thank you so much.
I feel very honored. Thank you.
Thank you. And everyone, go check out Shelley's website. I will be posting it below. And thank you for joining us on Conversations with the Higher Self.